I am with Afzal Mohammed from Siemens Smart Infrastructure. He is a VP of IoT Technology and Innovation. Afzal, what does your role encompass indeed?
Hi, being a VP for IoT and Technology Innovation, I'm driving the digital transformation. I'm heading the MindSphere team here for MindSphere Application Center, focusing on smart cities, collaborating on smart city topics globally, smart campuses topics globally on this. I'm a subject matter expert for smart cities, critical infrastructure, and command and control centers.
So here at Expo 2020 in Dubai, we are basically in a kind of blueprint for a smart city on a large scale. But how does a city become smart?
That's a very interesting question. Every city claims to be smart, but we need to look at the key elements of being the smart there. So whenever we talk about smart city or future cities, what is important is to understand, do you have the data from different systems, to monitor, to connect, to control, to optimize, to forecast, to predict, and ultimately have the situational awareness at your fingertips. Are you able to correlate the data? Are you able to contextualize the data? So these are the elements which makes the city smarter, where you're dealing with the data which is structured, semi-structured, unstructured, from enterprise systems to SCADA systems, where you're able to mesh it up and transform.
That's amazing. And so you mentioned connectivity, connecting things together. So here on site we have 130 buildings, for example. Can you give us some illustrations, some examples about how do you make the building smarter?
So if you look at Expo side, it's like 4.38 square kilometers, and we are talking about 130 plus buildings which are connected. Buildings generate a lot of data. What we're talking about is HVAC, lighting, generators, elevators, and many more systems connected to that. So buildings are like heart of any cities, I would say, which also consumes a lot of energy if you look at. So any building is smarter as long as you're able to manage its affairs in terms of knowing what is the energy consumption, water consumption, how many people are in the building, are we able to use the space utilization properly or not, and are we able to actually comfort, optimize, and provide the safety and security. So these are the elements which makes the building smarter.
You mentioned energy, and clearly here where we are, we don't have too much sun, but it's clearly a challenge considering the energy consumption to live in a desert. What type of solutions do you have in place to ensure an optimal and efficient use of energy?
I can say, we got lucky. Weather is getting better. We don't see much of a sun, but we just came out of the peak of summer. So there is definitely a lot of sun in Dubai, and there's a lot of green energy generated. If you look at these buildings around us, right, some of these buildings here, we are generating energy using solar PV. So that is contributing to the green energy what we're generating. If you happen to visit a sustainability pavilion, which is Terra, which is a net zero building, it is generating its own energy. It is also recycling water. So if you look at the elements here, there's a good mix of energy which we are generating at Expo side, and we're also getting a green energy from the utility which we are actually using for Expo campus here. So our targets are to make sure that we are actually adhering to ASHRAE standards, which are like smart building standards. I'm happy to say more than 100 plus buildings are already certified gold, by US Building Society for Gold LEED standards already. So that means these buildings are already energy efficient, right? And we see this more and more going up for the rest of the buildings. So all I can say is we have energy which is smartly consumed. We have metering data to tell us how the energy is consumed. We have renewable energy which we are generating here, and we are contributing to less carbon footprint with all of this.
Thanks. And you also mentioned water, and clearly here being in the desert is quite a challenge to get some. Is there any specific solution? So you mentioned, in the sustainability pavilion, recycling of water. Any other IoT or innovative solutions that you have put in place?
I'm happy to say, if you look at sustainability pavilion itself as an innovation topic, we have a water tree. it actually captures the moisture from air and converts into water. So just to show there is actually a way to generate water. It's really smart, right? And if you look at the rebirth system, which is actually doing the water, I would say recycling, and then the recycled water is repurposed for the, I would say plants and all. You know, it's more about irrigation. So if you look at Expo side, we have two kinds of water what we are using. One is the potable water, what we use actually. Another one is treated water. So the entire treated water is used for irrigation, right? We have more than 50 controllers, and which are having more than I would say 75 different valves which are irrigating based on the time, based on the weather, how much of water is there, and what's the moisture level, for example, right? And the water used in the building is a potable water. With smart meters, we are able to track how much of water is consumed. And there are some iconic pavilions here, like 3 pavilions: sustainability, mobility, and opportunity. I would say we are also looking at the footfall of people to say how many people were there when this much energy was consumed, water was consumed, and waste was generated. So it's all smart.
Great. Just a last question. In your view, when the Expo 2020 closes on the 1st of April 2022, what do you want to learn from this blueprint? What do you want to learn from this real scale smart city?
So imagine this entire campus is enabled with technology, 5G. We have Wi-Fi, all over the place, which can manage up to 350 guests at any point of time. We have sensors spread across. We also have certain sensors which are working on 5G SIM cards, right? IoT sensors. So there's a lot of learning. What we have done here is you can deploy smart technology with the combination of connectivity and solutions. First thing, gain the insights, learn from the insights, and adapt your operations based on that. Second thing, the learning what we have here can be also used for District 2020, because post-Expo, this will convert into a smart city, which is a blueprint for future smart cities. Third thing, whatever learning we have here, we can actually bring this and inspire the region, go globally and say, we can do this in Dubai, we can do elsewhere.
Thank you, Afzal.
Thank you very much.